All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Larry James. My company is Speak with Larry, no spaces. And today we have a lady by the name of Catherine Ann Clayton. Is that correct?
That is correct, Catherine Ann.
And she's a business strategist. She helps women who are driven to make more money by creating top-tier clients. And I'm interested to find out what that's going to entail in a second. So welcome to the show, Catherine.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so just going over the beginning of how you got involved with what you do, how did that take place?
Well, you want the long version or the short version?
We got about 30 minutes.
Well, basically, I was a teacher and educator for 21 years. I left the education world to raise my kids, and eventually was very bored raising my kids because they were babies. And, you know, there's only so much underwear and diapers you can change.
True.
So I found a job in corporate America, quickly rose the ranks in corporate America. I started as just kind of a data collector, ended up walking in the president's office and asking for a sales job, got the job, and the last 4 years I was the #1 top salesperson at that company.
Outstanding.
It got bought out by a smaller company. And what I realized is, I had children so that I could really be a present parent. I was an older parent, got married older.
Okay.
I had children late in life. And I realized that I really wasn't being a present parent. And what really got me, I kind of knew it because I was working all the time, but what really got me is one day I came home and I looked at my daughter and I said, "Hey, Emma Catherine, Mommy can help you with this." And she looked up at me with these big brown eyes and said, "Mommy, you're too grumpy and you always have to work. I'll have Daddy do it."
Wow.
Well, that hit me in the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I feel like God works in mysterious ways, and a lot of things happened. And my boss called me in about 3 weeks later, and basically she said, "You're making too much money. We're going to cut your salary." So I knew at that point, I knew that I had to make a change. And it all came down with that comment that my daughter made. I found out after we did all the numbers, you know how corporate does, they mix you up with numbers. And so you don't really know what they're talking about. You just kind of agree to it.
Right.
It was a 90% cut in my commissions.
Wow.
So I looked at my husband and I said, "Can I quit?" And I was making a pretty hefty, good 6-figure salary.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Do you want to quit?" And I said, "I want to raise these kids. I want to be a family. This is what I want to do. There's something else out there. I don't know what it looks like, but do you have me?" And he was like, "I got you." And so I walked out, and I couldn't believe it. May 15th, I actually left 5 years ago.
Okay.
Came home, started my entrepreneur journey, opened up my own company in the same realm as the corporate world, and was kind of bored there because it's a thriving business. However, it's it's an energy company.
Okay.
And it's one of those businesses that you get the contract and you don't talk to the people for 3 years.
Wow.
So I started searching, working online, couldn't find anything, and I was on social media all day long, like we all end up doing.
Right.
And, you hear all these things that people say, pay $27 and become a millionaire in 6 weeks, and, work from home, but only work an hour a day. Well, what I realized is business is really hard. And all those people were just lying to you. And that is one of my pet peeves, is just shoot me straight. And I'm a shoot straight kind of coach. And that's when I really found one of the main strategies that I use in business, which is LinkedIn. It's not who I am. I'm not a LinkedIn coach. However, that is a strategy that I use. Started learning it, and now I help, driven people make money and learn how to find top tier clients. And by that, I mean clients that are willing to pay for your services.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Interesting. So one of the things that my company teaches is it teaches people how to set up the foundation of an online business while assisting them with becoming more comfortable speaking about it. Because speaking is another revenue source, so some people are natural speakers. Like me, I had a fear of speaking. So it took me a while. I had to go to Toastmasters and several
Really?
things. Yeah. But, I finally got better. And then when this pandemic hit, it's like, this is ideal for me. I can
Absolutely.
speak like this and I can generate money like this. So that's one of the reasons that I love doing this from home. That's another plus.
Absolutely.
Do you look at that as a plus that you're able to work from home, or you more want to be around a group of people?
Ever since I walked out of my job, I've been at home. We
Right.
had a little shift after the first year, and my husband actually ended up coming home. And when he came home, we had a little shift in kind of, we're both kind of loud. And so we had to adjust there, but it has been the best thing for me. So I've been actually home for 5 years.
Great.
So what the pandemic did for me was it actually, when everybody was, and I tell people this, I tell my clients this, when everybody was pivoting. Now, Larry, if I ask you to stand up and I say pivot, you're going to turn around. If I say pivot again, you're going to turn around. And you're going to be going in a circle, right?
Correct.
So I tell people, stop pivoting and start shifting. Shift your business. Yes, we had a tragedy happen. However, you can make more money. I have tripled my business since the pandemic, since April.
Wow.
And so it's been a blessing for my family. I'm helping more people. More people are willing to jump out of this, just like you were with speaking, and really try their hat at something new because they are stuck at home.
Right.
And so for me, it's been a blessing, but I also believe that it's how you look at something. And if you decide, you can look at something like the half empty glass or the half full glass.
True.
And a lot of my years, I was a half empty girl. And the past 3 years, I've shifted my mind to say, you know what can I make this tragedy into a triumph with working on what I have?
Gotcha. Let me ask you this. Would you say that during this process, you've been able to actually identify your passion? Are you working within your passion?
I definitely am working in my passion. With the experience of teaching, I really realized that working with people and helping people create their dreams is helping me create my dream.
Right. And that's another something that people don't really realize is how easy things become when you're working within your passion.
Right, absolutely.
I believe that we're all supposed to be givers, and the universe is supposed to give back. You see, so if we're constantly giving, like I don't know about you, but I'm a content creator. Would you consider yourself a content creator? So as content creators, we're constantly giving.
Right.
And according to the universe and the way the universe is set up, you give and you shall receive. Now,
Absolutely.
a lot of times you receive in other ways, and I like that, but you will always receive. And you're not going to be able to give more than the creator will give you. So
absolutely, I agree 100%.
And you don't really know. It could be like your son didn't get hurt playing football, or your daughter made it home from school. Anything, even minor things like that you can have gratitude for, right?
Absolutely.
But I also believe if you go through life kind of hurting people on purpose, that universe rewards you in a certain way too, right?
I do agree with you.
Yeah,
I do agree.
So are your clients mostly working within their passion, or are they kind of like they don't know what they want to do? They're kind of like feeling around for it?
Most of my clients really want to start building something. A lot of them don't really know what it is that they want to build.
Right.
But they want to build a business. I have my clients range from network marketers, affiliate marketers to, CEOs of companies to, I have one of my clients, he just wanted to build he wanted to build the CRM system. He didn't know how to get there or what to do. He was terrified of it. And he talked with me right at the beginning of the pandemic. And we had talked a little bit, and I told him, because he put me off and said, I'm not ready to commit. And I said, well, how fast do you want to make this money? And he said, well, pretty quick. And I said, well, every 90 days, you're going to have an increase. It takes about 90 days to create something.
Right.
So if you put me off for another month, now we're looking at 120 days. I said, but I understand. I'll put you on my calendar. And can I tell you that he called me a week later and said, let's get started. And the great thing about him is that he really has embraced what I've taught. And within 51 days of working with me, he created 2 clients. One that pays him $1,250 for 6 months. Every month he gets that payment. So, and then another client that is paying him $750 a month for 6 months.
So he had the skill already.
He had the skill. He needed somebody showing him what to do and what it looked like.
From a business perspective.
From a business perspective. I really have an uncanny ability to look at people's blind spots in their business and figure out what's missing or how we need to do it. Because, you know, when you're in your business, I mean, Larry, right here, you're in your business with the speaking. You're so close to it, you probably don't see what's really missing. You see the big things, obviously. But if somebody says, tweak this just a little bit, or, you know, instead of charging $50, you should be charging $200, where it seems out of realm for you. But you go out there and try it and you sell it, it builds that confidence.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that, because most of my clients are what we call the baby boomers. I like to target people who are either preparing to retire, who have retired, you know, who kind of know what they want, but they like for me, I'm getting ready to retire from my regular job, right? So I wanted to do something that I enjoy the rest of my life. So I had to figure out what that was for me. And that's what I feel like I can share with other people, because I believe that you have to identify what your passion is. You have to find out what you really enjoy doing. And one of the ways that I suggest that they do that is to imagine this. If you walk into the front door of a bookstore or a library, which section kind of pulls you that way? Because we're all different, right? But that's a good place to start, because see, what you're going to be doing, especially with the online businesses, is you're sharing information that you gain. Now, this information can be gained based according to what you have a passion for, or according to what you want to learn. But as you learn it, then you're sharing it, and then it kind of solidifies itself within you that you know what you're doing, right? But like with your system, most people just don't understand the business model of it. You know, there's actually a model. You know, if you do certain things, you're going to get certain results. It's like that. But the thing,
I believe that a lot of people that join the online space, they're told so many different things. Like you need all these intricate, you know, you need all, and I'm not saying that you don't need them in business, but you need this funnel and you need this system and you need that system. And so before you know it, you're in debt before you even started. And I really focus on, in the beginning, depending on what stage of business you're in, you know, getting free things. Not free things like somebody gave you something, but using free systems. You know, Facebook is a free system. You do not have to pay for it. They don't get you on there and say you have to pay for ads.
That's correct.
You know, LinkedIn is a free system. However, you know, they're going to try to sell you premium. So I feel like that it depends on what stage of business that you're in, what tools that you need. And you always are growing in your stages of business.
Right. And see, my system helps the small business owner, people who are just starting out, like who really don't know that they want a business yet, because I have a 90-day process in 3 phases. Each phase walks you to a point. Now, at the end, because the reason I have it for 90 days is I believe that over a 90-day period, you'll identify whether or not that's the direction you want to go. That's one. And two, if you can't make 90 days, there's no way you're going to make 3 or 5 years, you know.
Right, exactly.
And see, I don't want to deal with you if you're not committed, you know, see, so because I will assist you after the 90 days, but that's a whole nother process, you know. But the first 90 days, you know, you get a lot of people who are interested, but it's time consuming and they don't want to stop doing what they were doing to start doing this, but they don't realize how beneficial that will be for them, you know. So I kind of have to walk them through that process, you know, until they get, you know, into the 30 days, maybe after the 30 or 45 days, then they kind of settle in and, you know, They're
Well,
living at
and
the finish line.
what where I get really upset and really mad about is that, if you look up the definition of business,
Hmm.
it means to profit. I mean,
Okay.
think back to when America was built, and it was only the Indians and the Pilgrims,
Okay.
and because everybody kind of knows that, when the Pilgrims were starving, they went to the Indians and they said, "Hey, we're starving. Y'all got some food?" And I'm using paraphrasing here,
Right.
and the Indians said, "Well, yeah, we've got some food, but you better give us some ammunition and some guns, and we're going to
Pardon.
trade." So that
Hmm.
was their money, that was their currency.
Absolutely.
So business does mean to profit, and you have to really focus on that, because you've got steps that you have to do to grow your business.
Hmm.
And I tell people it's okay to quit, but you better only quit for about a day. Now I used to quit for 2 weeks. I would get mad and I would quit. And now I've got my quitting to about 15 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
And when I get uncomfortable because I'm about to hit a new level or I'm learning something new, like this week was one of those weeks. I'm adding a different platform and I'm very uncomfortable. And all these little voices are in my head saying, "No, you don't want to do this, just quit." Well, I quit the other day and I went and laid down and I was like, "You are not going to get me, you little devil voices." I quit for 15 minutes and I came back at it. So, yes, you can quit, but it's really not quitting. It's just a time to take a breath, go outside. It's going to be okay.
Hmm.
Because if you continue working, then you are going to be successful.
Absolutely. You get overwhelmed. And a lot of times, one of the people that was a mentor to me in the beginning always told me, just do something every day, no matter how small, just do something every day. It's like send out an email, or, study, watch a video, just do something in line with what you're trying to get accomplished every day. And then sooner or later, like one of the things that I like to share with people is what I like to believe about myself is that I believe in you enough from the beginning until your belief in you kicks in. And then
Absolutely.
you'll take it from there, because I believe we all have a story to tell. And I believe our story is very important in business, whatever business you decide, because your journey is very different than the next person's journey. And you can
Absolutely.
always help somebody based on your journey and your expertise. But sometimes people's journey is so difficult that they can't really just tell it initially. It's so painful, it's too emotional for them. But over time, you'll learn which parts to tell and which parts not to tell, because we're pretty much creatures of emotion, right? So certain stories will captivate us, and certain stories will captivate other people even more. Like if
Right.
you grew up a single parent, or you grew up in certain, like I share this to people too. Just imagine that you have a child and I have a child, right? And my child was raised, let's say, in an environment where they had a mother and a father. They were nurtured, they were told that they loved. And then my child was a girl and your child was a boy, and he grew up in an atmosphere where he heard gunshots every night. He had to run home from school to get home, but he saw things that he shouldn't see at that age. And then they got together and they met and they got together. That relationship is going to be strained from the beginning because of the way he identifies love, right?
Right.
And that's what happens in life a lot. But a lot of times the right person can come into your life or into your, I was going to write, I'm an author too, right? And I was going to write a book one time called The Day Our Paths Cross, because I believe the day your path cross with someone, it changes you forever, because you can no longer say, I don't know that person. Like you can no longer say, I don't know Larry James, because our paths has crossed, right? I don't know him well, but I do know he exists.
Right. Right.
And that's a beautiful thing, because we're spirits going through this thing called a human experience, right? And let me tell you this quick story. One of the things, and I tell people this, and they don't really understand where I get this information from, and I truly believe it. But because what I'm saying is factual. We're actually spiritual beings having a human experience. You know that, right? You've been told
I understand that.
Okay, so understand that concept there. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So if you and I were having a conversation in the spirit, I couldn't see you, you couldn't see me. And I would say, Catherine, I just got the notice that I'm going to be going to that human experience. And you say, what, Larry? How long are you going to be gone? I said, I don't know, probably about 60 or 70 years. Now we're talking in the spirit. And then I'm born into this world, right? I live about 60 or 70 years, then I die. I come back to the spirit world. And you say, hey, Larry, is that you? I said, yeah, I made it back. I knew you would come back. Oh, yeah, and everybody comes back, but we have to make that transition from time to time. I believe that's how it works, you know, because we're not human beings. We die, but our spirits continue on, you know. But when I share that with people, they think, well, I don't know about this guy.
Well, what are you talking about here? You're a little crazy.
That's a little more information I need to know right now. Okay, but back to the business. When you look at a legacy, like where you want to be 10, 15 years from now and what you want to leave, like how many children do you have?
We have 2 children.
Okay, 2 children. I had 2 children also. So I want to leave a legacy for my children. Is that what's going on in your mind too, from a far kind of distance down the street?
It is going in my mind. It's very interesting. To me, it's very interesting about children and how the same 2 people can create these 2 little human beings that are polar opposites.
And then it continues on.
Yeah, it does. And you know, part of my story is that I struggled having kids. And so our first child was in vitro.
Oh,
and
okay.
she is, they both are blessings, but she's, you know, a real blessing. Mm-hmm. And she has a path and she has a mission on where she wants to go. And then my other child, my youngest child, he is a little actor. Okay. And so he has a mission where he wants to go, but he's more on the entrepreneurship road.
Great.
She's more college bound. He's more entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. And it's funny to watch how you're building a legacy already instead of when I'm dead, but right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, I walked in his room the other day and he had cameras all set up and, you know, and I didn't buy them for him. He ordered them from Amazon. Okay. And he started a YouTube channel and he's like, Mom, if you can do it, I can do it.
That's
I was like,
okay. That generation will be a lot more tech savvy than we were.
Right, absolutely. I'm like, why don't you work for me and help me? What's wrong with you?
And he can surpass you.
He probably will, and I would love that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it'll be because of your tutelage, because along the way, what makes him want to do that is he's watching you. See, kids pay attention. They don't so much learn by listening as they do by watching.
Absolutely.
You know, so if you're doing nothing, they don't want to sit around and do nothing.
Right.
If you're always busy, always in the mood, and they see, you know, you're happy doing what you're doing and you're still able to spend time with them, that's a win-win, you know. And I look at the next generation, say 20 years from now, like I've got a son that's 41 and my daughter's 34. So they have families. So I'm already a grandfather. So I look at for my grandkids and my great-great-grandkids and great-great-grandkids, because I make videos. So I have like over 900 videos online. So they'll be able to watch those videos and say, hey, I'm part of that.
Right, absolutely.
Like only they wouldn't be around me because I'll be dead by the time, but they still have like a lineage that they can follow, you know. And I want that. You do things like that consciously. You know what I'm saying? And if you're able to do it consciously, as I was saying earlier, the universe will bring people and situations into your life that'll make that a lot easier for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I love about being able to view, like my favorite subject, but other than business, is personal development. I believe we have to constantly work on who we are from a conscious perspective, not just happenstance or accidentally. We need to pay attention to where we are and how our growth process is really being affected. Because you think about this, from an entrepreneur, you can't watch 7 hours of TV a day, can you?
No, you can't.
You can't do that. So if you're watching 7 hours of TV, you're gonna have to cut some of that back.
Right.
To be in business, or if you're serious about it, because this requires a lot more effort than that, you know.
Right.
The reward is a lot greater, you know. So.
And that's what I say. You know, if anybody tells you that this isn't work, you know, business is work.
Hard
work.
It's
blood, sweat, and tears.
That's right. That's why it needs to be aligned with what you like. Because if it's not, it's just a job. And I have clients who want to start their business because of the money they can make. I say that's not a good thing, because what happens when the money doesn't come? But what happens when the money comes and stops? You know, then you're going to go transition right into something else for the money. So you're wasting time doing all that. And see, the one of the things I like to do is constantly increase my skill level. I like to learn new things so that I can make that what I didn't know, what I know. And I tell people that as you increase those skills, you actually add more value to the marketplace from your perspective, from a branding perspective. You know, like if you think about someone who's an author, someone who speaks all over the country, who has, you know, events that they attend on a regular basis, and that you want them to come and speak for your group or organization, you can't expect them to get paid the same amount of money as me, right? I'm nobody. They you know, $10,000 a speech, you know, and I appreciate that, and I aspire for that, you know. But that exists, and there's even more, you know, there's even more. But you have to be on your game. You have to be really on your game. And it's not like difficult, because one of the things I like to share with people is authenticity. I like for you to be who you are. Don't be somebody you're not, because people do not identify that. People see through that, you know. And it's okay temporarily, you know, but just kind of feeling what's going on. But as you get comfortable, you have to be you, you know, because that's where people actually benefit from your presence, you know, when you're you, rather than when you're performing for somebody, right?
Well, and when you first get started in this online space, you know, you emulate your mentors or the gurus or whatever, and then, you know, you finally eventually come into your own. And I've only been into my own about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And you know, I'm very bold. I just have found it. It's not up and running, but I've just found it. I woke up one night and the word bold came to me for my business. And so my new business is called Biz Solutions. And, you know, I really am about being authentic and being bold. And I've really come into my own and realized that, you know what, there's going to be a lot of people that love me out there, but there's also going to be a lot of people that hate me. And that's okay, because a lot of people don't want to niche down. A lot of people want, well, I can help everybody. Well, really, when you niche down, you're helping more people, because you're getting rid of those people that just want to have conversations with you about nothing, or are never going to buy your product, service, or business. And so when I started niching down and really talking my truth, everything started to flourish.
Right, absolutely. Because see, people benefit from that. They can actually learn from your skills, because you have skills. If you can make, but I tell people, if you can generate $10 online, you can generate 100.
Right.
And
then 100,000.
Yeah, just have to repeat that process, and you'll get better at that process.
Absolutely.
But you have to be committed to it, because if you're not committed, it's like analytics. You're not tracking what needs to be adjusted. You know, you gotta know, okay, I'm on, like, email marketing. I love email marketing. Email marketing is like the bread and butter of a business for me, online business, because you establish a relationship with these people. It's like you and I. If I get your email address and I send you emails, and I do videos, I like to send emails with videos. So there's Larry, you know, and you'll get to, and I'll send offers, like, you know, Gary Vaynerchuk. You ever heard of that guy?
I know Gary.
Yeah, I think it's jab, right hook. He sends you information, great information, and then he sends you an offer. You know, you might be interested in, because he knows you. You know, I know you. If I talk to you 3 or 4 times a week through emails, then I know you. I know what you like. So if you like, say, flowers, I'll send you a opportunity to, you know, purchase some flowers. You know, if that's what I do. But it's a lovely system for people who are what I consider lazy people. Because see, you don't have to do a lot, and you can benefit a lot more, especially if you can go viral. You know, because you just don't know. But I don't think that that's a good process. I think that's kind of like hitting the lottery. If you hit the lottery and you go from $100,000 a year to $7 million in the bank, that's a big gap. That's there's a lot of area in there you don't really know about. You know, I'm one of those people that would rather make my money than to get it like that. That's why I don't.
Right, and it's a journey. It really is a journey, and that's what people have to realize. It's, you know, not so much about the destination, because if you're a true entrepreneur and a true business owner, once you hit that destination,
Uh-huh.
your destination just moved up a little
Thank
bit
you
further.
very much. Thank you. And that, as it should, right? Because you're not finished. So why should
Right.
why should your efforts be finished? And you should constantly be able to be rewarded for your efforts. I believe that, because like you say, but one of the things that I share with people that I really emphasize is the time factor. You're losing time. If you wait another 5 years, you lost 5 years, because you know as well as I know that now, knowing what you know, if you knew that 5 years ago, wow,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you'd be a
Totally.
lot farther ahead on the game. So you're losing time that you can never get back, So
And that's why I tell, the people right now that are like, I don't have the money and my job is this, COVID that, quit making excuses.
That's all right.
And I say chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry. And they're like, what? And I'm like, when you're in the ice cream shop,
right,
and you're with your kids,
uh-huh,
and you're just like, just pick a flavor, kid. Come on, we got to go. Just make a decision.
right,
The people that make the quick decisions are the people that are the most successful.
And willing to suffer the consequences, because sometimes there's consequences with that. But you got to be that way. You have to be that way. But you're
going to make some bad decisions. But you know what? That bad decision is going to lead you to the next level for you.
And it's based on your calculations, because see, you have a different level of knowledge now than you had 5 years ago. So chances are very good you're going to make the right decision, and you're in line with your business, because you're in that day in and day out, and you watched it grow.
Absolutely.
So you're the person who they should talk to about how to grow it, right?
Right.
Someone's going to give you some money. And another thing I like about, before this is over, one thing I like about the type of business I have is that it doesn't require a lot of money from the start. So money can't really be the excuse. It has to be, because you can learn what I teach online if you knew which process to go. Because people are teaching the same thing I teach every day. But I believe it's the hands-on, or the I can call you and talk to you if I need some help, efforts that we provide too, that makes people more comfortable and willing to jump in the water. Okay, well listen, Catherine, it's been a joy talking to you. I really had a great time. I really appreciate you stopping by my little place here. And before I leave, I'd like to ask you to leave your email address or your website for my group of people to hear.
Okay. Where do you want me to put it, in the chat, or do you want me
I'll
to
put it in there. You just say it out loud.
Okay. It's long, so you might be mad at me.
Okay.
It's Catherine Ann at CatherineAnnClayton.com. That's my email.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's easy though. It's long.
Now, I have a little gift. Will you let me give a little gift?
Absolutely.
This is an easy one. Okay. It's called GetClientsWithLinkedIn.com.
Okay.
And I'll put that in the chat for you. GetClientsWithLinkedIn.com.
Gotcha. Okay, I appreciate it. Well, again, I enjoyed your company, and I always like to end the show by saying, my name is Larry James. My company is Speak with Larry, no spaces. And as always, share with someone else what I've shared with you. All right, Catherine, bye-bye.